Hi everybody, welcome back. So the other day I came down into the basement to start a fire, and when I came down the wood stove was full of wood. It was all half burnt, the fire was completely out. There was all kinds of material in there to make a fire with. I ended up taking everything out of the wood stove, using the material inside the wood stove to start the fire. So my daughter does live with us as well, and she's the one who will sometimes start the wood stove. So when I also came down, every bit of kindling that we had was completely used up. There was probably about a year's worth of kindling down here, and it's been used up in a couple of months. So let's review the proper way to start a fire to make sure that we're using the least amount of kindling that we can and to get it going as quickly and efficiently as we can. So the first thing we're going to want to do is, depending on your particular stove, it might be at the top or the bottom, but you want to make sure you open up your flue all the way, and then you're going to open up your stove. So my favorite thing to start a fire with, whether it's out in the woods or inside the house, is going to be birch bark. You can also use paper or cardboard as well. And guys, this is a huge piece of birch bark. You don't need anywhere near this much. Honestly, this is typically enough to get a fire going. So we'll just rip that up a little bit. And we'll just grab 3 or 4 pieces of kindling. Once we have our kindling in, we're going to put some wood on the side of that. Then we're going to lay a small log over top of where we have our kindling. Now, if you only have one piece of wood somewhere, it's not going to want to light and take off very well. It's a lot harder to light one piece of wood than it is a couple pieces of wood that are right side by side. So we're going to put 2 pieces of wood right side by side. Alright, so we'll just light our match. Light that little bit of birch bark, and we'll just hold our match there as well for a minute, and we can leave our match in there as well. Now you can already see that the wood's starting to catch on fire. Now all the kindling's already on fire. We're starting to get really nice flames coming into those boards on top. And they're close enough that once those boards start to catch on fire, those 2 boards, the heat from each other's flames is going to add to that heat, and it's going to help. For wood to actually burn, it's not the wood itself that burns. What happens is you're heating up that wood, you're producing a gas from that wood, and that gas is then catching on fire. And that's what gives you the flame. The 2 center logs that we have just over our flames, they're completely engulfed on the bottom side on fire now. And then as we go towards the middle, it's completely engulfed in the middle. Now on the outsides on either side, we're starting to get some flames wrapping around there. So now is going to be a perfect time to add a little bit more wood. Now what I'm going to typically do is I'm going to put all my logs in so that they're facing lengthwise inside the stove. That way when you open up the door, if any of the wood shifts, it's not going to be able to roll out and come out onto the floor. And if you do it just a little too soon, you can either blow into the fire or you can use your bellows and just blow on the coals a little bit, and that'll get the fire going again. So right now we're about 13 minutes into starting the fire. The fire is going really good. Everything's completely engulfed on the 2 logs that I have on top. They're starting to catch on fire quite nicely now, and the fire's lit on the bottom, and it's starting to catch on the sides. Something you also want to keep an eye out for is we have a thermostat on our stove pipe. There is an optimal temperature you want that stove pipe to be within. That's going to maximize your burn both inside the stove and make sure that you're not having any issues with your chimney. And it also helps improve your draw. At this point, we're going to close the door on our wood stove, but we're going to leave the flue all the way open. I'm really happy with how our fire is going right now. We're not at risk of that fire going out. The fire is going on all sides, but we will have to give it a few more minutes before we think about closing the flue. What we want to have happen is we want to have the stove heat up a little bit before we start to close that flue, to minimize the amount of oxygen that's going in there. The other thing we want to keep an eye on right about now as well is going to be the temperature for our flue. So as you can see, the temperature on our flue stack is starting to go up now. So in the last couple seconds alone, we've gone from 200 to 300 degrees. We really want that to be in the range of about 400 to about 900 degrees to maximize the efficiency of our burn for our wood stove. Now the wood that we have here, you can notice that we have a little bit of moisture coming out of the end of the log. For the most part, all of our wood's pretty dry. This is hardwood that we bought last year and had delivered to the house and has been outside ever since. We just brought a little more wood inside the house, filled up our storage area there about 3 days ago. That storage area will last us a couple weeks depending on how often and how much wood we're burning at that particular time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little more wood in at this point. We could have put in a little earlier. It wouldn't have made a whole lot of difference once the fire's going, regardless how much you put in. When you're first starting it, you also want to make sure that you're leaving enough air space in there so the air has the ability to flow around. That becomes less crucial as you get more and more coals in the bottom. The other thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my flue. I'm going to turn my flue about halfway closed. That's going to cut the amount of oxygen in there and start to turn the fire down just a little bit. But we don't want to shut it down all the way this early because there's not coals in there to keep the fire going if there's not enough oxygen. Now, just since I put that last log in about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes ago, the stove temperature for the flue pipe has gone up about 50 degrees. We're kind of at that bottom end of where we want the temperature for our stove pipe to be right now. Our stove's also starting to radiate heat, so it does take a little while for the stove to heat up. I find it usually takes about 20 minutes just to start to heat those bricks up. Once those bricks have absorbed that heat, it'll keep the house warm for the rest of the day. As we can see, dampening our stove hasn't really affected the flames at all. That's a good sign that we can kind of turn it down a little bit more as well. So I'm going to turn the flue all the way down at this point, and we'll just give that a minute to see what that's going to do to our flames. So it's a little bit harder to see it on screen than it is to see it in real life. You can see that the flames have gone down just a little bit, which is kind of what we want at this stage. The flue is completely closed. By closing the flue, what's going to happen is we're going to maximize the amount of heat that goes into those surrounding bricks. Now, if we leave our flue open at this point, we're going to lose a lot more heat through the chimney. We're also going to go through a lot more wood and it's going to burn less effectively. So to maximize the burn efficiency and the amount of wood that we're going to use and the amount of heat that we're going to get it, we want to make sure that we're closing that flue all the way. My wood stove is about half full right now. This should burn for between 6 and 8 hours. When we first bought the house, we were completely heating the house off of wood. At that time, what I was doing is twice a day I'd completely fill the stove. So as soon as I got up in the morning, I'd fill the stove completely up. I'd get it going until it was self-sustaining, then turn it down. And then when I'd get home at the end of the day after work, I'd fill the wood stove up again. I'd let about half of that wood burn throughout the evening, and I'd fill the stove the rest of the way back up, and I'd heat it for the rest of the day. Now the size of your stove is going to have a factor in that as well. So the bigger stove that you have, the longer it's going to be able to burn, the more wood you're going to be able to put in, and the better job it's going to do heating your house. You also want to size your stove appropriately for the space that you're heating as well. So we have about 2,000 square feet, which is about what this stove will do. Alright guys, that's going to be everything for today. Don't forget the bell notification to notify you when I drop new videos. I'm trying to drop between 2 and 3 videos a week. Alright guys, that's everything for today. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.